Rob Skinner, and this is the Rob Skinner podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about courage, the courage that comes from knowing that the great I am is walking beside you. I still remember the first time I was asked to lead a Bible discussion on the campus at the University of California, Berkeley. I was a 1-year-old Christian. I didn't have any experience leading a discussion, and I was asked to lead a Bible talk at a men's dormitory called Bowles Hall. Now, Bowles Hall was high up on the mountain, right next to Memorial Stadium, the football stadium, in the hills, the Berkeley Hills above the campus. And it looked like a castle. It was built like a castle. I mean, had these ramparts, and I just remember walking along the street, and I would turn around the corner around the stadium, and I'd see it rising up above, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I felt like Don Quixote charging the windmill. I was so afraid. My hands were sweaty. I didn't really know how to lead a Bible discussion. In fact, I showed my first Bible discussion draft to my campus leader, Doug Beatty. And I said, here it is, Doug. And he goes, Rob, that's not a Bible discussion. That's a sermon. And he said, where are your questions? And I just like, I don't know. Wasn't planning on asking any questions. So it wasn't really a discussion. It was more of a sermon. But it just shows you how green I was. And I was so nervous. But the only thing that got me through that is as I would walk there, and I had a part-time job selling or doing insurance for Howard Root Insurance, is I would walk along from my apartment over to Bowles Hall, and I'd repeat one verse to myself over and over again. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. That's Matthew 28, verse 20. These words from Jesus became my anchor. They reminded me I'm not standing alone, that the same God who called me was standing beside me at all times. And it enabled me to move forward when I was absolutely terrified. And that's not an over-exaggeration. These words, they come at the very end of the Gospel of Matthew when he's gathering his 11 scattered and doubting disciples. One of them has died, committed suicide. He'd given his disciples the Great Commission. He said, hey guys, I know you're a little afraid, but I want you to go win the world for me. Go make disciples, baptize them, and teach them everything I taught you. What a huge task. And he knew that they were going to face fear, rejection, opposition, persecution, and death. He knew it. He had his eyes wide open. So he gives them one final promise. Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. He didn't promise money. He didn't promise comfort. He didn't promise ease. He promised his presence. That's the gift that Jesus left with his disciples. This phrase, I am with you always, connects all the way back to the Old Testament. In Exodus chapter 3, when Moses is standing in front of that burning bush, he's afraid to lead. He's out there. He's been shepherding for 40 years. And God introduces himself to Moses with one name, I am. I am who I am. That same I am who spoke to Moses is the same I am who spoke to his disciples. And it took me a long time to kind of figure that out, kind of put that together. But I mean, maybe it's like 5 years ago. Hey, the I am always with you. And in another passage, Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am. He's just stating it very explicitly. He is the great I am. And so it's the same I am who spoke to Moses who's walking with you today. And he's reminding us that the eternal, all-powerful presence of God goes wherever we go. That truth can overcome any fear. It can steady your heart in any challenge. It can help you do things you never thought you could do because the great I am is standing right beside you. It's not the spiritual heroes of the past like Moses and Gideon when he said, hey, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. He's standing beside you. And so when I realized that, the fear of leading that Bible discussion began to fade somewhat. It was still scary, but I would think to myself, if the great I am, if Jesus is with me, what do I really have to be afraid of? So let me ask you, what's the thing that's scaring you right now? Maybe you're doing missionary work. Maybe you're helping people overseas. Maybe it's sharing your faith. You're just terrified to open your mouth. Maybe it's leading a small group. Maybe it's leading a discussion for the first time. Maybe there's a person struggling in your ministry and you're like, I really need to talk to this person because it's really obvious they're not doing well. But maybe the person is a little cranky or you're not expecting a good outcome. Whatever it is, you don't have to face it alone because the great I am is always with you. You're not the one doing the heavy lifting. God is. He doesn't send you out and just say, hey, good luck. Tell me what happens. He's with you. I am with you always. So walk into that fear, step into that challenge, stop skirting away, stop saying, oh, maybe next time. Trust that the great I am is standing right beside you. Thanks for listening. Here's how you can help support the program. Let your friends know about it. Secondly, go to robskinner.com and sign up for my newsletter. I'm starting a newsletter because I want to keep in better touch with you who's watching this or listening to this. I want to keep in better touch. I want to let you know what's happening in my life, and I want to know what's going on in your life. Because my goal is to inspire you to live a no regrets life, make this life count, and multiply disciples, leaders, and churches. Have a great day and make this life count.